93,173 people were at WrestleMania 3 to witness one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. But does it deserve that recognition? Let's find out. Let's find out if it does deserve the recognition as being one of the best of all time. So, kicks off. Vince McMahon in the ring. Welcome to WrestleMania 3. That was a bad Vince McMahon impression. Don't you try that at home. So Aretha Franklin sings America the Beautiful. Absolutely awesome job. WrestleMania 3. Here goes nothing. The first match of the night is Cowboy Bob Orton and Don Morocco against Rick Martel and Tom Zink, also known as the Can-Am Connection. Canadian American. Although it is a short match, this one is pretty entertaining and a good way to open the show. Martel was, at the time, one of the best wrestlers in the business, and both Don Morocco and Bob Orton were both great heels. The lost man here was obviously Tom Zink, who I have no idea. But either way, the Can-Am Connection wins here, and WrestleMania 3 is underway. Next up, we got Billy Jack Haynes and Hercules. Surprisingly, this match was 7 minutes. At 7 minutes, this was probably one of the longest matches on the card, and really it didn't need to be honest. Hercules is a pretty good wrestler for his size, and as for Haynes, so was Billy Jack Haynes, but this was not a wrestling match. It was just a brawl, and it was pretty much a predictable ending. The ending was a double countout. Now we got the midgets match, and two midgets and a big man match. Little Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and the Little Beaver against King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Little Brooks. Again, like I said last for WrestleMania 2, oh, what a difference a year makes. Because King Kong Bundy went from being in the main event of WrestleMania 2 to wrestling midgets. Oh, man. So if you're amused by midget wrestling, you may like this. Otherwise, it's pretty much a worthless match. Fortunately, it was only 3 minutes long, and the babyfaces Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and the Little Beaver got the win. Now we got the JYD Junkyard Dog against Harley Race. The king of wrestling, Harley Race. Despite being only 4 minutes long, this was actually pretty good. It's always fun to see Harley Race in his final years in the business, and especially as the king of wrestling. And the Junkyard Dog was up to his usual antics. It wasn't really that bad. Harley Race won this match. And the loser... Oh, this was a loser bows down match. So, the Junkyard Dog had to bow down before the king of wrestling. So, there you go. Now, we got the fabulous... Fabulous Rougeau, Jacques Rougeau, and Raymond Rougeau against Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Dream Team, with Jimmy Hart in the corner. Although this match is somewhat entertaining, it is, like other matches on this card, way too short to get much out of it. It seemed like the build-up, more like a build-up match for a further feud than a serious match. Yeah, this one was pretty average, but it should have gone a lot longer. The Dream Team, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake defeated the Rougeau brothers. Next up, we got a hair versus hair match. Adrian Adonis and Roddy Piper. This was what most people say is Roddy Piper's last match, because he takes a slight retirement, because he wants to dabble in the world of acting. They Live. Great movie. So this was a decent match for given the time constraints. Although Adrian Adonis is little known to most current wrestling fans, he was a decent wrestler, and Piper always puts on a good show. So Rowdy Piper wins the match. Adrian Adonis gets a haircut, and Piper stars in They Live to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and he's all out of gum. Okay, now we got the Hart Foundation. Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Danny Davis against the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, and Dynamite Kid, and Tito Santana. This should have been an excellent match with two great tag teams and Tito Santana thrown in there. In the 9 minutes that was given, the two teams put on a good show, and the match still turned out pretty well. The Hart Foundation and Danny Davis got the win here. Now we got Butch Reed versus Coco Beware. It's just another short, meaningless match. Nice for nostalgia, but nothing too special to watch here. Now we got one of the best matches of all time. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Without a doubt, one of the best matches to ever be put on at WrestleMania. It featured the best in-ring storytelling you'll probably ever see. Not to mention the outstanding wrestling. Both Savage and Steamboat put on a great show and flowed perfectly together. They were so good with each other. They worked so well with each other. It is possible that this match alone is worth the cost of... It was worth the cost of the pay-per-view. It was worth the cost of the DVD. It's worth the cost of the WWE Network. Every true wrestling fan needs to see this match. It is the epitome of professional wrestling. And if you haven't noticed yet, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat wins the Intercontinental title from the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Now, we got the Honky Tonky Man, the Honky Tonk Man. Oh, thank you very much. With Jimmy Hart in his corner, almost a Jim the Anvil. Jimmy Hart in his corner against Jake the Snake Roberts and Alice Cooper in his corner. Alice Cooper. That's pretty much all this match is known for. Alice Cooper being in Jake Roberts' corner. I mean, it's a decent match. They work well together, but it wasn't that special. All right, now we got the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov against the Killer Bees, Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell. Although this match should not have taken place so late on the card, it was still a pretty decent match. The Killer Bees were pretty hot back then. Were a hot tag team back then, but not as much. But they're one of the most talented tag teams of their time. The offstage bad blood between Brian Blair and the Iron Sheik is probably the only reason why to watch this match, to be honest with you. And now we get to perhaps one of the greatest or most famous wrestling matches of all time. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. The irresistible force, meaning the immovable object. Featuring the legendary moment where Hogan body slammed Andre. Despite the fame of this match, it wasn't particularly a good match. Neither Hogan nor Andre were particularly good wrestlers, and they basically did their routine moves over the course of the match. It was a great moment in history, but not overall a great match. Now, the problem with WrestleMania III is not the card, which is stellar, but the time slotted to each match. Of the 12 matches, only two matches exceeded 10 minutes, with the rest coming in at 5 minutes on average. You get a glimpse of the glory days of the WWE, but little that is solid. The Savage Steamboat match is probably the best match in WWE history, debatable. And the Hogan-Andre match features the most memorable moment in WWE history, again, debatable. Is one great match and one great moment worth the money? I'd say so, especially back in the day when that's all you had. Okay, so that's WrestleMania 3 for you. Out of 10, I'm probably going to give this WrestleMania an 8.5 out of 10 because it's just it is what it is. It's WrestleMania 3. A lot of people say this is one of the best. That's their opinion. I respect it. But yeah, WrestleMania 3 is one of the best. Coming up next, WrestleMania 4.